Hey everybody, Stephanie with Vitality Health Solution, and today we're in the kitchen doing some Friday fermenting. And so I'm going to show you how to make sauerkraut, which is super nutritious. It's full of the good bacteria that's really important for our health. And a 16-ounce jar of sauerkraut is the equivalent to like taking 8 bottles of probiotic supplements, and for super duper cheap. And when you do it yourself, you get to tweak the flavors and do some interesting and fun stuff. So here we go, right here. Okay, so first I want to say, when you even cut the cabbage, cut it in 4s. But first you want to peel off the outer leaves so that you have these big leaves, and you'll see why I say that later. And then you cut it in 4s, and you want to save the core that you cut out because you're going to need that later, and you'll get that in a second too. So you just cut your cabbage, and then you finely shredded. It can be thick. I mean, you can ferment whole pieces of cabbage. I like mine thin. I threw a little onion in with mine, but you don't have to. So one of my tricks is I shred 1 head of cabbage. I put 1.5 tablespoons of good quality sea salt on it, and then I weigh it down by putting a plate on top of it and just let it hang out for like an hour plus, whenever. But this way you don't have to do any of the work because it will draw all the water out of the cabbage. But if you don't have time and you just want to hurry up and do your fermenting, you can just kind of massage the cabbage and squeeze all the water out, or just use a tool and kind of beat it for a few minutes. Like I said, I'm lazy, so I put my salt on there, put my plates and weigh it down and walk away. So now I have my cabbage with my salt already ready to go, and you can see all the water squeezing out of it and stuff. And so if you just like plain old sauerkraut, you would just proceed to putting it in the jar. You can add caraway seeds. Me, I like spice and very flavorful, so I am making an Indian spiced sauerkraut. So right here in this bowl, I've got fenugreek seeds, coriander seeds, cumin seeds, ginger, turmeric, curry, all those healthful spices. If you want the exact measurements, if you go to my website, www.vitalityhealthsolutions.net, the recipe's on there, or you can comment below and I'll give you the ratios and the whole recipe. So I'm gonna sprinkle in my spices and just mix that around. And so I try to get all my clients and people I know to try to implement a little bit of fermented vegetables, because it's just something you can't manufacture in a lab and get in a supplement the same way. Like, this is nature's probiotic. And so if you can see in here, I'm just mixing it all around, but in the bottom, all that water's there. So what you do, you take just a regular old mason jar, and you just start putting the cabbage in there. And you're going to cram it down as tight as you can. So once you get it in there, you just push on it and keep pushing on it and keep pushing on it, because you're gonna want that liquid you can see rising to the top right there. You're gonna want your cabbage like 1 inch from the top, and then you're gonna want a brine. A brine is what the liquid is called. To come all the way over your vegetables, and that's going to keep it from doing any kind of like molding or preventing that good bacteria from proliferating. So you can see, like, as I push, that brine just naturally comes up, and that's the beauty of just letting the salt kind of work and do its magic without you having to beat the cabbage like some of the traditional methods do. And so I'm just going to push it down. I'm going to get this out of the way so hopefully you can see that good. But you can see where the brine is at the top. And this is why I said to save this leaf, because what I do, I take this leaf and I put it over the top of that. And then I take this core and I shove that in. And this is going to make sure that the veggies stay under the water. And also, when fermenting, if any kind of mold or anything was gonna happen when you open this, when you peel this leaf off, all that top layer is gonna come off. So it pretty much just prevents it from molding and keeping it in there. So I have these fancy fermenting lids where you, instead of the core, you could put this special lid, and then you put this on there and a little bit of water. It creates a complete anaerobic environment. But I don't even use these because this way is so effective. And I want to show you how to do it without having to have any special equipment. So then you would just kind of push your put your lid on, and you can see that the brine is above the vegetables. You don't want it too far because as it bubbles and kind of starts doing its magic and working and fermenting, it sometimes can go over the top. But I like these plastic lids versus the metal lids because it will actually let the air out as it needs to. So that is really it. This jar is loaded with probiotics, super good for your gut, and it cost probably like $3 to make with the organic cabbage, the onions, and all the spices. So a cost-effective way of doing it. Set this on the counter, minimum 3 days. I usually let mine go for a few weeks, but you'll know when it's ready because, like I said, it will bubble, it will talk to you, and you'll definitely be able to smell it, especially now that we're coming up on summertime. So if you have any fermenting recipes, please share, like the video, share the video, comment below. Thanks again, guys.